speaking of optics, this is going to be an underlying theme that we talk about throughout the entire season when we're watching the Brooklyn Nets. So the Brooklyn Nets, Suns, KD, and Kyrie played the Phoenix Suns in Phoenix last night. They won 128-124, trailed by 21 points at the half. This is why the Brooklyn Nets, as well as any other team in the NBA, were willing to move heaven and earth to land James Harden. This is why. And this is why the Nets are and should be favored to come out of the Eastern Conference. And I predicted that the Brooklyn Nets would come out of the Eastern Conference without the trade for James Harden, just with Kyrie and KD. And here you have a guy in Harden who drops 38 points, 7 rebounds, 11 assists, 61% field goal shooting last night in 37 minutes. Scored 20 points in the first half, 18 points in the second half. And one of my favorite adages in sports, give me great offense over great defense every day of the week. And it rings true because this is like you're preparing for the prom and you've got your first tux that's laid out on your bed, ready to go. You've got a second tux as a backup hanging in the closet, and you've got a third tux waiting in the wings at the dry cleaners. Should something go awry to the first two, maybe you spill a drink on one of the tucks, or you drop some food and it stains another. But all three of the tuxes are from Hugo Boss. They're all elite quality. And so any one of those tuxes you bring and you wear to the prom, you're going to be set. You're going to be looking the flyest. That's the reality. This is what you have with James Harden being a part of this Nets organization. I've contended that I'd rather have Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving take a shot down the stretch of a game over James Harden. I have said that, and I still will say that. But you'd be lying to yourself if you're not saying that James Harden is the second best guy on this team. There's no question, given the skill set of James Harden, that he's the second best guy on this team. He is. His ability to shoot, his ability to distribute the basketball and rebound, the best facilitator right now on that team, leads the NBA in assists per game at 11.6, averaging, since he's been traded to the Brooklyn Nets, 24 points and 11.8 assists per game to go with 7 rebounds. And he's scoring 24 points on 15 shots per game. So you look at a guy in James Harden who over the past 3 seasons has averaged over 30 points, has won an MVP. Over the last 5 seasons, he's scored over 28 points per game. Over the last 8 seasons, he has scored over 26 points per game. And so this is more than just an embarrassment of riches. This is like mining for gold 3 times in the same calendar year. That's what this is. And I think that in sports, we've said this before, the best ability is availability. And this is the beauty of having a guy like James Harden, who's one of the most durable NBA players and NBA superstars that we've ever seen. And we don't talk about that enough, is how available he is night in and night out. This is a guy who, since he's been traded to Houston, so over the last 9 seasons, has never played a season or has never played less than 72 games in a season. That's how durable this guy is. So this is why you're afforded the luxury of allowing Kyrie and his mercurial self to miss some time due to personal reasons or to deal with his ailing shoulders, and to allow a guy in Kevin Durant who's rehabbing his Achilles, and now they're saying it's some calf strain. They're allowing him time to heal up, to rest up, because you have a guy in the wings who on any given night, you look at this team just with James Harden. If you don't even look at him with Kyrie Irving and with Kevin Durant, with just James Harden, they could beat probably half the teams in the NBA, just the way they're currently constructed. And so when we think of leadership, obviously we think about the tangible and intangible qualities, but leading by example is more than just playing hard, more than just providing words of encouragement or giving uplifting speeches in the locker room. It's about being present and showing that you are there and ready to play night in and night out. And to his credit, James Harden has been doing that the last 9 seasons. He's even played 3 seasons in Houston where he's played 81 games, 82 games, 81 games. He's always there. And I just think that when you look at this team, we've known how much of a juggernaut they are, but we've never seen in NBA history a compilation of 3 individually talented players like this before. I don't think we've ever seen an NBA team where their 3 best guys individually are more talented than this 3. If you look at Miami, even when LeBron was with D Wade in Miami, yes, LeBron and D Wade were fantastic. Chris Bosh is a tremendous player, a really good player, but individually, he doesn't stack up to these 3. And with the Warriors, while I believe that cohesively, Clay, Steph, and KD were a better fit and a better trio, and overall, I'd rather have that trio than this trio, the reality is, while KD and Steph are as talented, Clay, and he is a fantastic player. And on practically every single team in the NBA, Clay could be your number 2 guy. But even he is not quite as individually talented as these 3. And this is the luxury you have of having 3 guys who during the regular season, again, we'll have to see what happens, how they coalesce in the postseason. But in the regular season, any guy can just take off, and one of these 3 can go get you 40, can go get you 50 points on any given night. And mind you, this was against a Phoenix Suns team that I really respect. So don't think that if you're playing the Brooklyn Nets and 1 or 2 of these guys are sitting, that all of a sudden you can just pack it in because it's going to be a cakewalk. Phoenix Suns are 4th in the Western Conference right now. Devin Booker and Chris Paul have been balling out, which was another reason why James Harden went off. You knew that he going up against Chris Paul was going to strike a nerve and that he was going to want to play better. Chris Paul dropped 29 in that point in that game. But again, Suns were fully healthy at full strength, and the Nets with James Harden just brushed them aside, came back from 21 points down on the road. So this is a really, really loaded, dangerous team, even missing Kyrie and KD.